Yes, it is. Alright, this is Macarthur Park, just going across where the start and finishing line was. We're on Jackie Howe Crescent at the moment, heading up the hill, dropping down the dipper. You see what I mean, the camera flattens out the rise and fall somewhat, but there was a considerable rise and fall in the circuit. Up the hill and around this long sweeping right-hander where Andrew Johnson and Craig Trinder came to grief at the second last meeting. This double apex right-hander which tightens up on the second apex and drops down into another little dip as well, and then for safety's sake, instead of the track going straight on, we got over the crest of the hill, turned right into Merriman Crescent where this four-wheel drive is going. There was a few desperate late braking efforts there and some people who ran out of brakes altogether and went straight ahead instead down this loop, which is sort of like an enclosed C that keeps on heading left, 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 and eventually of course it comes back up on Jackie Howe Crescent again. This loop was just put in there because if the bikes had continued on down the street that we just turned off, they would have been arriving at the T-intersection at the bottom of the hill much too quickly. This was a very tight little corner here. There's a few guys came to grief just here, and the braking area here was also very critical as well because you went up over the top of the camber of the road and dropped down onto the off-camber side of the road, which was very, very tricky indeed. Again, drop down the dipper again, and down at the right-hander here at the T-intersection where the bikes actually went down the inside of that median strip rather than the outside. We're going to do the outside so that we obey the law, but we went down the inside there, and that gave the riders some runoff area onto this side of the track if they happen to misjudge their braking there at that corner. Down past the park on the right-hand side where the pits were, avoiding that dog. We didn't have dogs back then, we had kangaroos. Turn right onto the Coin Street past the area where the traffic island was removed for the sidecar races at the last race of the meeting. Around Coin Street, just here was where the grid was at the very first race meeting, and then after that we moved it here right into Jackie Howe Crescent, and monstrous wheel stands up this huge hill towards the start and finishing line. Graham Crosby and Stuart Avant and the other guys were just pulling towering wheel stands and running right out into the guttering here, and using it like a motocrosser uses a berm to bounce them back out onto the track and over the start and finishing line to complete a lap.